What's up, Champions fam? It's Zeke 410 back with a brand new WWE Champions video. And we are here today with the overall MLC review for September 2020's Clash of Champions. But I want to address this right here and now, right out of the gate. If you watch this video until the end, I want your honest opinion. What are your thoughts about these overall MLC review videos? Do you enjoy them, or should I try something different? I like doing these because it basically acts as a timestamp in Champions, and you can compare and contrast the former to the latter content. Oh, back in this MLC, I remember they didn't do this, but I do recall that in this MLC, they applied this and it actually worked. Why didn't they ever bring it back? But I also understand some people. Some people can go to the past and reflect and think and be like, man, I miss those days. While others, the past is the past. I'm focused on the present day and what's coming up in the future. But everything goes hand in hand. But I just want to make content for each and every single one of you, my beloved hashtag Champions fam, that you rightfully enjoy. And this is why we have to have these type of discussions. I don't mind making this type of content, hence why I released the video anyway. But I also want to make sure that this type of content is serving its purpose for each and every single one of y'all. So just hear me out for this video, and at the conclusion, again, if you watch all the way until the end, just give me your proper constructive criticism. Do you like these overall MLC reviews that I do before the next MLC starts, or would you prefer me to try and experiment with something else? But let's dive on in. Now, this was a very interesting MLC to say the least. Now, I have to state this too. This was definitely a highly tedious one, because I think this is the first time ever that we've had like back-to-back Flash feud series. Never again, champions. It was a grueling experience. Many people, many players throughout the globe were not able to properly participate. This definitely meant that those that are on top for these Flash feuds consistently, consecutively, they had to sacrifice time they're not getting back. It was too much going on all at once, because you had some people, literally half their faction was asleep because, of the times, and the requirements could have been a little bit strenuous depending on the matchups that you were dealing with. Then we had bugs here and there. It was too out of hand. So this was definitely an MLC where I believe we saw the most consecutive Flash feud series. No more, please. But we did have a unique twist here, because they showed some love to the NXT UK superstars, because we had a free-to-play MLC champion in Technician Pete Dunne, and then we had a prize world champion in Powerhouse Walter. Now, this was dope. We got the Bruiserweight as a free-to-play unit, and we got the Ring General as a prize world chase champion. In my true opinion, I was pretty let down by Pete Dunne. I thought Dunne was going to be cool. I thought he was going to be a dope unit. To me, he's merely just a collection piece. No more, no less. He's sitting right next to Killian Dane, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. But when it comes to the boy Walter, though, Walter is a monster of a unit, and if you got his gear, takes it to the next level. Champions, they seem to really have a thing for strikers, powerhouses, and tricksters. But I can't complain when we get a free-to-play MLC unit that is of the tech class, because they were overdoing it with the showboats. We've got more than enough acrobats. It was time to show love to the green class, and thankfully they buckled in and gave us another tech unit and done. But nonetheless, the superior, hands down, had to be Walter out of this contest. Following that, we had this blitz with Farouk. You had a chance to get shards and unlock him and get him onto your roster. You had a bunch of different in-store offers here. Nothing really to wave a stick at, to be quite honest. I mean, Farouk is a solid unit. This was obviously a pay-to-play op for many. So literally, Either you did the content or you didn't. And Farouk is a very top shelf unit, another striker. But at the same time, I really wasn't feeling this contest. But if you were able to get in and get out, good for you. To each his own when it's all said and done. Because Farouk, he's already been out before, so this was just like a rerun contest, bringing him out and just switching up the format. So Farouk, if you got him, kudos. If not, he'll be back. I'm sure of it. Then we got this update. Now, this update, the main thing that they pushed here was a brand new form of strap, affiliation straps. Basically, you can pull these straps and you can utilize different sets of trainers and coaches on multiple superstars. And I like the idea, but you still got people trying to grasp the concept of the normal straps and medals that we already have in the game. They also were supposed to be fixing different bugs and glitches, but throughout the MLC, there were many problems. As I mentioned with the Flash feuds, there were bugs that were going on during that. Like literally, they had to extend the final Flash feud for the waifus for this MLC because they were having issues and technical difficulties. Scores weren't coming up. People's characters were being killed without even fighting. It was just a smorgasbord of fuckery. That's the best way to put it. But the affiliation strap was something that they pushed. But no lie, I literally only saw a couple banners that featured the affiliation strap concept for certain units. And then afterwards, I didn't really see nothing at all about it. So I don't know if this is going to be a sporadic thing, like how they bring back like the stun immunity straps, like once in a blue moon, like, hey, get this win while you can, only going to be up for a set amount of hours. Or was this a trial and error thing? Like, let's see how it's received. And I guess it wasn't received too well, and it might not be back. But hey, when it comes to champions, everything is subject to change. Some things might disappear, and next thing you know, here it comes back out of nowhere. It's like, where did you come from, survival match? If you understand what I'm saying there. But nonetheless, basically it was an update to fix all the problems in the game, to right the wrongs of the game, and nothing much really changed. They basically used this as a billing scenario to introduce a new piece of utility in the game with these affiliation straps. Whether they come back or not, that's up in the air, and we'll find out, I guess, when the next MLC gets started. Now, after this, we saw the debut of Rhea Ripley in Champions, another UK superstar for representing NXT UK. A lovely waifu with that, and it was cool. I believe a lot of people were able to walk away with her, but things got a little out of hand a little bit later because Showdown, you know, they pulled one on us when it comes to Showdown. I don't think Showdown's ever going to be the same, but realistically, this was just one of those situations. You had all the superstars. If you put in the effort, you'd be able to walk away with solid resources and rewards. Showdowns will forever be a scenario where you do get some top shelf quality rewards for your efforts, but again, we'll discuss it a little bit later. I went in depth on this in a previous video, but we'll get there very soon. Basically, the thing here was Rhea Ripley was introduced during the Showdown tournament, the same way they've done other characters, and either you got her or you didn't. There was a Mega Superstar loot banner for her. People were able to unlock her without doing pulls. It literally just depended on who you had to utilize for this Super Showdown scrimmage. And even if you didn't walk away with her, you walked away with some solid rewards if you were able to hit the different milestones. So this is what you're starting to see something go on with this MLC for me. This MLC kind of was. It was a laid-back MLC, and their objective with each superstar that they brought out was pretty crystal clear here. But following that, we had our Showdown, we had our Blitz with Farouk, we had our Showdown scrimmage with Rhea Ripley. So then we got flash feuds. Now, flash feuds, like I said, this is something that I feel should never be done again. In my opinion, after experiencing the back-to-back flash feuds that we had for this MLC, I just feel that all you need to do is bring back the 24-hour flash feuds and just make the rewards worth the time. Multiple rewards over a longer stint of time, depending on who you are, depending on where you place, it could be highly, highly counterproductive. Because, again, you have many players all over the world. On all the continents, you got people playing this game, okay? Or at least the possibility of that. That's what you hope for a global game, for everyone of the world over to be playing it, right? But the times just weren't matching up for a lot of us. And this was one of those situations where it truly showed that champions might be, no, they are overextending themselves when it comes to what kind of game they are trying to be here. Are we a PvE game, a player versus environment type game where we do our solo dolo type of content, we do our daily tours, we grind out our MLC tours, we do our showdowns, but then when it comes to showdowns and feuds, it turns more into a PvP scenario. And look, when you got top tier units, broken units, like Hollywood Hogan, okay? You got freaking a broken new unit in like who got an overhaul at 5-star in Fandango, you know? When you got units like that who, or a geared up junkyard dog, or you know, when you got these type of characters that get these type of buffs when hitting a new star rarity or a brand new gear comes out that just turns them into a completely different unit and a monster, you got to start questioning, is it a smart idea to have these PvP scenarios? Because literally it's going to make it a disastrous situation, because my roster isn't Gerson's roster, okay? Gerson's roster isn't Davey D's roster. Davey D's roster isn't Big Papa Brian's roster. And a lot... Look, man, some of the matchups that happen can be soul crushing for people, especially if you were a person who was finally hyped. I'm going to be able to contribute. I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to do that. And then you get matched up against a 5-star with your wee little 3-star gold. You're sitting there like, I thought they said they fixed it so that the matchups were fair. This isn't fair at all. How am I going to beat a 5-star Fiend? How am I going to beat a Hollywood Hogan 5-star strapped out the wazoo with perks galore? I can't beat him. I don't even think my partner's mom can beat him. I don't think my partner's dad can beat him. We call the cops. We need help because it's about to be a murder on the scene. It's literally horrible. You tie that in the off matchups and the different time zones trying to meet in the middle so everyone can contribute. Flash feuds just became a nightmare, and they showed a flaw in Champions' concept of a game. Literally, what are we? Are we PvE or PvP? Because PvP, that's been blown out of the water for a while. Like, literally, has a lot of people hesitant to do content, and the PvE is even a tad difficult because looking at, like, literally, like, with how they got set up, like, the challenges for different content now, with how things are strapped up, it makes it very hard to be enthusiastic about logging into the game and doing any set of content. You might catch a break with certain tours and certain limited tours that come out. They might throw you a bone and go back and revert to the old days of, oh, you're just going up against a champion with these trainers on them. Go in, get the easy win, and call it a day. Outside of that, though, yeah, everything's strapped up. Everything's got medals max, gem reduction, extra turn chances, and it has becomes a headache. So, but the set of flash feuds that we got throughout this MLC definitely showed. I don't think that Champions needs to try to do anything extra moving forward, because they're painting a picture that isn't too pretty. Now, following this the Flash feud, we also had the debut of Adam Cole. Now, Adam Cole was dope. Adam Cole was dope, but I honestly felt that they did a disservice to him. He should have been a god tier showboat, and he should have been a showboat that stood out from everybody else. I mean, Adam Cole is money. There's no way around that. And I really felt that his debut, they fumbled it. They dropped the ball on it. I mean, even when you got guys like Gear-San who get the opportunity to make this exclusive gameplay, you gotta think. They literally get these guys last minute, gotta get in the mode to drop what they're doing to make you exclusive content on a brand new champion to get you hype. And when you got people who are willing to be honest with you that, yes, I was blessed with this opportunity from Z.E.K.E to give you this gameplay on this champion, who I know many of you personally reached out and said, I can't wait to see Adam Cole in the game. And then you drop him, and even he's sitting back and being like, I expected better. I thought he was going. I would have thought they would have pulled out all the stops on him like Hogan. The reality is, it's the truth. They do seem to show favoritism to certain units. You might get a surprise unit once in a while. Someone over there might throw out something really good that you least expect. But it also is one of those things like I would love to understand their thought process. I would like to fathom how they come up with the characters. Because Hogan, from the story that I said a while ago, they had Hogan in the bag. They already had it planned out of how busted Powerhouse Hogan was going to be. They already had it figured out how broken Immortal Hogan was going to be, Hollywood Hogan was going to be. They already figured out the new mechanics they were going to introduce with these units. You know? So, if they had that kind of, foresight and hindsight, why don't they do that for other characters? You know that Adam Cole is a big draw. You know that people love Undisputed Era. So why wouldn't you make him a be-all? Why wouldn't you make a unit who's representing the worst class in champions the be-all, end-all to have people invested in that class of champions? You understand what I'm saying? Like, this was a guy that you could have used to turn things all the way around. You could have gave him a big health pool, and he could have been hitting like geared up Junkyard Dog without said gear. He could have been doing something crazy with the board. I mean, literally, their saying is, their shtick, their line is shock the system. You could have improvised something where his finisher does literally puts a set amount of turn stun on, and it's not like, I don't know, man. They could have done a lot of crazy stuff. They literally could have implemented something just like with Drew McIntyre, where he has the chance to bleed. They could have done something with Adam Cole where he hits a certain move and there's a chance for a stun, and if the stun does land successfully, it lasts for a set amount of times, or while your opponent's stunned, they take crazy amount of damage because he shocked the system. It was a fumble debut. The best way to put it is, it was a fumble debut, and it was obvious that they were after the pockets. And that's another, consistent pattern that we had throughout this MLC. They were coming for the pockets. But I was happy to see Adam Cole coming into the game. Now, we got to wrap it up because I'm starting to ramble and rant, and I do not mean to do that. I'm just in awe of the fact that y'all could have figured out, we're going to make this guy busted because it's Hulk Hogan, but you didn't expect, Adam Cole, baby, the face of NXT, longest reigning NXT champion, and y'all didn't think of just making him absolutely god tier and breathing a little new life into the showboat class to have people reconsider. Maybe there's a chance that the showboats are going to show out and change is going to come. But the favoritism is ludicrous over champions and Z.E.K.E, but to each his own. To each his own. Following the feud and Adam Cole Baby's debut. Oh, shit. Here we go again. Showdown, Lacey Evans. Another unit that Girsad was happy to finally see coming to the game. Lacey. This is when Showdown died. I don't know what happened. I don't know who said what. I don't know who pissed off who. But yo, man, to get to the milestones was mission impossible. Hold the Tom Cruise. You dig? Lacey was an alright champion. Wasn't the best. And you know what? I was cool with this one. Because they built up Lacey in real life to be this great thing. Realized she was still wet behind the ears. They dropped her down. Her career's been sporadic. One minute she's supposed to be a heel. Next minute she's a face. She flips sides to a more than Big Show does. So she wasn't a god tier unit, a goddess tier unit. And I was fine with that. But this Showdown was just abysmal. The point system, the deficit, the difference in the amounts to hit milestones, the rewards. It was just hell in a handbasket. It was one of those things like, I literally don't feel like participating in this whatsoever. I really don't. Looking at the amount of points I'm getting for using certain superstars, looking at what I've got to do to clear milestones, you literally have to sell your soul to get through this Showdown. And I am proud to say that I wasn't the only one that felt this way. This was definitely a Showdown tournament that made me look at Showdowns. I'm like, the one piece of content that everyone was willing to bite their tongue, bite the bullet and grind out consistently, consecutively, and they figured out a way to fuck it up. Okay, because blitzes are old and redundant. I literally have to sit back and fathom the fact that, I remember a time, here we go. Back in my day, if you weren't active for a set amount of days without a proper, note for your leaders and co-leaders, you got kicked. If you didn't heal people during feuds, you got kicked. If you didn't feud at all, you got kicked. Now we're in a place where, if you don't blitz, you're getting kicked. If you don't do showdowns, you're getting kicked. But when you got content that is grueling and annoying, and I am sitting there grinding something out for hours to not, make that huge of a difference, man, you better not kick my ass. Because if we all complain about the same thing, and you dealing with the same thing that I am, and you understand where I'm coming from, nah, man, this a whole, we about to change to another era of homie, don't play that, because this just ruined Showdown, and they didn't need to do it. They already drilled blitzes into our mandatory shtick. Your MLC tours, okay, everyone has to do it for the faction contest. Then you got your feuds. Obviously, like people say that feuds don't matter, but here we are again. Everybody's still participating. So you tell me, we're in an event meta where faction feuds aren't relevant, but yet everyone still fights for it as if it's relevant. So I don't know where are we going here? Does it count or does it not count? What's going on? Like, I let me know so I don't get a D on my report card. But Showdowns took a huge F this time around, and why'd they have to use the Southern Belle, Lacey Evans, to bring it to us? She literally powdered her nose and just flipped us the bird, no Stone Cold involved whatsoever. And F in the chat for a Showdown, because I with zombies coming up, I don't know how this is going to go. I pray that it gets fixed. Hopefully they listened, because a lot of people weren't happy about Showdown. It was just horrible. It was just horrible. Never again. Now then things got a little interesting, because a lot of this MLC was, a little on the pay-to-play end, But then there was a little breath of, you know, freshness here. And that came with the masters of the WWE Universe making their return to the game. Now, this was a cool way for a lot of people to just go ahead, get some resources, hit up some milestones, possibly walk away with some new champions if you got lucky with the safes and the vaults that were within the milestones. But it was a laid back one. And yes, it came with a bunch of Mega Superstar banners so you can get some of these units onto your roster, obviously, to do the content. But in my opinion, zombies in the Masters of the WWE Universe, outside of your traditional wrestlers, outside of your normal shtick, and yes, Hall of Fame units are basically, since they look like statues, they're trophy champions. I feel that Masters of the WWE Universe alongside Zombies and Hall of Fame, they're all very high quality units. It all becomes a thing of preference. And yes, there's always people with the Pokemon mentality. Gotta catch them all, recruit them all. I get that. But literally, each character that was involved here, it kind of speaks to your preference and what you like. And talking about Adam Cole, look at what they did with Triple H. Now, Acrobats do have some solid units. There ain't no way around that, from Jimmy Uso to X-Pac, who still get used to this day, to Ricochet, to Andrade, to Rey Mysterio. Triple H is another character where, yeah, it throws you off, like, why is a buff dude looking like Skeletor rolling around claiming that he's a acrobat? But he was an acrobat that did good business when it came to that class. He was a solid addition. And that's why when I look at Adam Cole, I'm like, why didn't y'all do that? Y'all can make this Skeletor rip off Triple H, dominate everybody, dominate over real life superstars, but then you can't make a real life superstar like Adam Cole, baby. My baby. Dang, they screwed him over. They screwed him over worse than Bret in Montreal. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. Bret got screwed over. Yeah. Okay, another time. The point is that they brought back the Masters of the WWE Universe like an RKO out of nowhere, and you had a solid shot of walking away with some solid units. You had a solid chance to recruit Big E, and I do like what they did with Big E here, because Big E, when he first came into the game, it was basically like, it was pretty easy for a lot of players to unlock Big E at 4-star. And they continued the tradition here of allowing people to get some more shards of him. So it's kind of one of those things, if they continue to make that, a little running theme here, it's basically saying, like, hey, you're going to have a guaranteed 4-star at some point if you just keep on doing this set of content. And I do like that. I did like that, because I saw my broski Roman Empire. I saw him finally get enough shards to recruit him at 4-star bronze. And solid unit. Another situation where Champions throws you a bone if you just got the right superstars. Not everyone's going to have the proper roster all the time, but definitely a solid op if you're able to do the content here. And all the Masters of the WWE Universe are fun in their own way. They're all high quality champions who can clear different types of difficult content with ease, just as long as you understand your roster, what you can do and what you can't do with it. But you can always improvise. That's one cool thing that I do like about Straps and Medals, because even if you don't have all the coaches, you can basically mix and match, like, well, I got the coaches for this and the trainers for that, but then, I can have that balance breaker, that balance breaker with that strap and metal setup that's just going to take this champion to the next level. And this is definitely one of those things where, with the Masters of the Galaxy, they were definitely on something here. Striker Cena, everybody had a chance to get. Showboat Warrior, everyone had a chance to get properly. Big E, another unit. You basically almost kind of sort of had three units that could have been free to play, just depending on where your roster was and where you were when it came to everything being said and done. And even then, same thing with Triple H. So technically 4. So you had a lot of solid units coming out of the Masters of the WWE Universe, and they brought them back, giving people another chance to walk away with solid rewards with them and a chance to pull somebody pretty good, because the banners that they released for these guys, they were all pretty solid in their own right. Now, following that, we had the web portal launch. Now, this is definitely going to be changing things For sure, because there's going to be no BS moving forward because you make your account, you can check out the beta, log in, link up your Facebook account, that brings up your player account, you find out everything. You find out your win ratio for your showdowns and your feuds, you find out your overall win ranking, you can go and find out intel and check out people from other factions, you can check out an overall factions performance. This is definitely going to be helping factions throughout until the very end of Champions, depending on how good they're able to keep up the maintenance and the upkeep, because it's a Champions Guide here. There's going to be a forum up there soon. It lets you know all the future content that's coming. Literally by day, it lets you know what content is coming out and what's being released. You can literally look up any player's intel and information. So now leaders and co-leaders, officers, there's no excuse for you to let, no disrespect anybody here, let in the trash into your faction. Because somebody could easily say, well, I do this and I do that. Now you can literally go and look them up. Before you even click accept, you can look them up and figure out what they're really about, and you can decide for yourselves, do we want to take the shot with this with this character here, or do we let him or her go before we even get started? So this is definitely going to be a solid essential tool moving forward. Plus, they got a lot of different types of rewards that you can claim absolutely free. You claim it on the website. The rewards pop up in your game when you log in. They got some exclusive offers that I'm sure people are going to be logging in to see here. And this is just opening up a whole nother can of worms. Hopefully it turns out good in the long run. But you can play the game off the computer, desktop, laptop. It's just literally you're basically going to be able to do everything for Champions in one place, one-stop shop, so to speak. So this was definitely interesting, but I still feel that there are issues in game that need to still be resolved. And yes, thank you for the free rewards and things that we can claim from this web portal, and thank you for the essential tool here that's going to help factions build like to superior levels now, because literally there's no excuse now. There's no excuse of like, oh, I didn't know that he or she was going to be like this. Now you can just check out the stats because numbers don't lie. But literally, people are going to have to, whoever's running this, they're going to have to stay up on it. They're going to have to be on top of everything, scores and everything, for this to truly be consistent and for this truly to be reliable. They're going to have to do their job. But there's a lot of rewards and resources that can be claimed from here. A great way to find out about the people that you play with, and a great way, not just for you to build a faction, but also learn about your fellow members and stuff, and help give insight, help people build relationships. So this could definitely be a gift or a curse, but right now it's certainly a gift. But things are always subject to change. We don't know how long this is going to last. Now, finally, we had another Flash feud that ran alongside with the Phantom Phenom Frenzy contest, and y'all already know how I feel about this. This was the one for me personally that blessed me. Got the free 4-star silver modern era technician Undertaker glowing Phantom Phenom, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. Again, just like the Masters of the WWE Universe, just like any form of content that we dealt with, honestly, if you had the superstars to hit the requirements, you could walk away with some solid resources at the end of the day when it's all said and done. Outside of anything else, like either you're able to do it or you're not. But this was definitely fun. It was a cool little break. It ran alongside the feuds. They also had it running alongside, the Masters of the Galaxy contest. And you had your MLC tours to do and clear out because everything's winding down. So they gave us a solid amount of content to do at the end of the MLC. But overall, my real opinion, this was not surprising, a very pay-to-win MLC. And it's kind of like this. It was a chill MLC. It was a very laid-back month-long contest in the sense of it wasn't really anything super hype throughout it. It was tedious, but it's kind of like, I guess you could say for me, I was on autopilot through it. And it wasn't anything that had me truly jumping out of my seat outside of pulling Taker. Everything was just going through the motions. It wasn't anything that stood out to be like, oh my God, they just did this, they just did this. The portal was cool. It's a cool feature that we have now. But how they tarnish Showdown, the portal is dope. I give you that. The Masters of the WWE Universe making a surprise return. I just hope they don't wear it out the way that they do the NWO. Like they go to the pool, and that's what I mentioned earlier. The favoritism. Like someone, I don't know where their mind's at because someone over there loves giving us strikers, loves giving us tricksters, loves giving us broken powerhouse. Like it's as soon as the powerhouses got that meta shift, we're getting powerhouses out of the wazoo that are absolutely OP broken. There's just certain champions out there that you're sitting back like, why'd you make the, like, you can make this guy or girl this broken, but then you got other champions over here that could easily get reworks to help everything out. I really feel that they need to bring back the rework system here and update a couple more champions. Like, no lie. Think about this, right? Striker Baron Corbin. A lot of people don't like him, but he's a solid unit. For nearly a year now, for a full stint of time, Baron Corbin has had a different look. He's cut the hair, he's become King Corbin. Why don't we have gear for him yet to make him relevant again? Why don't we have, GM Baron Corbin wearing the suit? Or, not the suit, like the dress shirt and everything. Why don't we have King Corbin with the crown? I don't understand why we don't have that in here. And then there's other units that I feel that should have got a rework, like Kurt Angle. I feel that Kurt Angle, after being, inducted into a Hall of Fame with everything being said and done there, I really felt that they should have gave Tech Angle a buff because that was the angle that we all grew up on. I felt that maybe even Powerhouse Angle should have gotten a buff. It's just certain things it's like I don't know where their priorities are over there. We know that they're there to make money, but this wasn't really that exciting as when I first made the video about us taking a trip across the pond. Lacey Evans, happy to see her in the game because I like a good heel. I like a bad boy and a bad girl, but man, she just brought some bad juju with the showdown tournaments. So I'm praying that when it comes to the zombie apocalypse, things turn around for the better. But right now, it's not looking too good at all. Adam Cole, they screwed the pooch on this again. I guess can't get over that in my mind. Before they even got the clear on Hogan, they had already figured out everything they were going to do for him, for Powerhouse Hogan. They already knew he was going to draw money. They already had it like in the bag of what they were going to do for him. I just can't believe that they screwed the pooch on Adam Cole. Like Adam Cole could have been a guy that had, a million plus HP and he could have been blowing up the board like crazy, but he's a showboat with the health pool, but he has fast charge moves like an acrobat, but he hits hard like a striker, and he has move damage of a powerhouse. They could have done more with him. They really could have. And yeah, you got the skill plates and stuff, etc., but not everyone has legendary straps. And that's just a harsh reality. They could have easily introduced the NXT legendary strap. They easily could have done it. Easily could have done something there with that. Um, I'm just lost for words. It was really a MLC where they had my attention, but then they lost it quick. And it kind of reminds me of like the natural disasters, the natural disaster one with Typhoon. It wasn't all that exciting. It was just like a MLC that I just went through the motions on. There were characters that I was hyped for, and then I was ultimately disappointed in. The Flash feuds oversaturated the market with this. Go back to 24-hour feuds. Just improve the rewards. Make it worth the grind. Make it worth our time. Don't make it counterproductive. And Champions really needs to figure out where they're going. Because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm down with the idea of a faction. That's why I had a faction back in the day in Crown Era. But now the format is this, and it really screws a lot of people over. You could do everything in your ability as a solo player, a solo individual, do your PvE side of things, but ultimately get screwed over overall when it comes to the faction side, because you can do everything. A couple other people in your faction can do everything and carry the weight. But then when you're not hitting all these faction contests milestones and stuff, it's like, who do I trust? What do I go all in on? And that's why the top factions are able to dominate, because they already came to the conclusion of what needs to be done. And you can only do so much. And it becomes a point of it starts working against you if you're giving your all, and then you really realize, other people aren't. And not everyone's an asshole, not everyone's an asshole to be like, yo, you ain't doing your shit. We gotta kick you. We gotta let you go. I'm sick and tired of every time that there's a important type of contest coming out, you're always hitting me up in the vacation slot saying, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that. It's like you never talk throughout the entire week, but when it comes to where we need you the most, that's when you say, oh, I can't do nothing. And then next thing you know, we notice on the point note leaderboard, oh, they hopped in and did this one thing so they can get rewards. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying something. And Flash Feuds is one of those situations where it makes it even worse, because there's people out there that are on the other side of the world that want to help, but they genuinely can't because stuff's going on while they're asleep. And it just gets to a point like, what kind of game are we, man? Because I really feel like you could easily have a faction and everything just be based on solo progression, and all that accumulates into the faction contest still. And I guess you could say it does happen. So maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But a lot of the stuff being strictly faction based, if you're not in one of those top factions, a lot of those contests end up being a doggone joke. They honestly do. They honestly do. And Flash Fuse is one of those things where it literally shows where you can stretch yourselves thin depending on what kind of faction you're in. You're going to have a set amount of people that are going to be carrying the workload, and that's not right. It's not the right for 66 people to be carrying the weight of like a 100-man team. Like it just does. It's not right. It's not cool at all when everyone's biting the bullet to try to maintain stuff as something to be relevant, and then people just come in last minute, do one match, and be like, "Oh, I did my thing. I count, right? Y'all aren't going to kick me, right?" But Flash Feuds, something has to change, man. Go back to 24-hour feuds. Give us better rewards overall. Make it worth our while. More bang for our buck, and we'll be Gucci. Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was cool. But again, these are some lackluster waifus, in my opinion. Man, I was about to say Lana. Lacey Evans, Rhea Ripley. Glad to see him in the game. Uh, Kudos to those that got them, but didn't really hit the spot for me. I wasn't really impressed. A lot of the units that came out for this MLC, I really was not impressed with whatsoever. The patch notes, the affiliation strap, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know if that's going to be relevant or not moving forward. Farouk coming back into the game, that was cool. Again, if you could do it, you did it. If you didn't, oh well. The opportunity was there, quote unquote. But this is another guy that I feel they're giving that treatment to, that they want people to have him, and I don't know if this is a misdirection or not. I don't know where this is headed. Like, is Farouk showing up because there's going to be a unit that needs his trainer or coaching ability soon? I don't know. Is there going to be some type of content that where a guy like Farouk is going to be highly essential? I don't know, but I mean, it was something to do. It was a blitz that we get. You know the shtick. We get our free to play blitzes, our mandatory grinds, and then we also have our pay to play option right there. And when it came to the champions, Walter was amazing. Walter was certainly amazing. I loved watching his content. For gameplay, the gear helps him out a lot. More than likely because of how things are going here. Just like with Adam Cole, I really felt they could have done something cool with for NXT MLC. They could have easily done some stuff where you got your faction could have chosen, like which faction are you siding with? Are you siding with Imperium, or are you siding with Undisputed Era? And depending on which route y'all went, it could have flipped things around between it, because literally I highly doubt we're going to see the rest of the members of Imperium and it's a hit and a miss on Undisputed Era. I mean, Undisputed Era, I can see them easily bringing out O'Reilly, Strong, and Fish. I can easily see them all coming out together. I don't see them doing the same thing for Imperium, but I was really hoping for NXT MLC where you would have gotten to see Walter and Adam Cole in it together with the rest of some other NXT guys. But NXT UK did get love because we had Walter, we had Dunn, we had Rhea Ripley. So I guess you could chalk it up as a win. Nonetheless, this MLC was a miss, man. I wish I could be more expressive with my words here, but no lie, it was just one of those ones that went through the motions, autopiloted it. It was cool. It had its ups. It had a lot of downs. I hope that things improve for the better with Zombie Apocalypse. But that's pretty much it, y'all. Y'all let me know. And again, what are your thoughts about these overall review videos? Do you enjoy them or not? And that's it. I really had high expectations for Clash of Champions because I love the whole thing of the NXT UK characters getting their due, showing love to the UK crowd because we have a lot of players, a lot of great players that play champions that reside from the UK, and it was just a letdown, man. I know there's people out there that probably enjoyed this, but for me, this wasn't as exciting as, Masters of the WWE Universe. And this also shows that maybe there just needs to be a change on how they do things. They're going to be implementing some changes when it comes to Zombie Apocalypse. They're bringing back survival matches. So they're already like working on something else. It's just a thing of consistency is key, man. If we all knew what we're like, we never really know what we're getting into each MLC because one minute things are going good, the next minute they're pretty down. You could have it's kind of like Chris Jericho said it one time. It's like I can deal with having an amazing story with an okay match instead of an okay story with one amazing match. If you understand what I'm saying, it's like sometimes they're firing off on all cylinders, and then next time dumpster fire. So bad times don't last, champions do. Did not mean to hold you as long as I did. I assure you. I try to make these short, sweet, and brief sometimes. I try not to ramble and rant. It just ends up happening because certain things just provoke an emotion out of me. And I am just hoping for the best. And I had to knock this out because even though the MLC is not technically over yet, we're gearing up for the zombie apocalypse in a couple of hours. So, I had to knock it out before the next one started. So, with that being said, y'all, bad times don't last, but champions do. Mad love to each and every single one of you, of my beloved hashtag champions fan. And for those of you who do watch, let me know your thoughts overall about this MLC. Were you super excited throughout the entire month? Did you not care for this MLC? What do you think they could have improved when it comes to the conclusion of this MLC? What do you think they could build upon afterwards? A lot of huge letdowns here. The Flash feuds back to back, that was grueling. The showdown mishap. I don't know why they had the Massacre Showdown. Showdown was like the one piece of content that I was strongly behind, and now I don't know if all hope is lost there. We had your usual pay-to-play shtick throughout the MLC. A lot of brand new champions, but again, if all the champions aren't hitting on all cylinders again, are they really worth it? Huge letdown with Adam Cole. Huge letdown with Adam Cole. That just hurts me. That just hurts. But with that being said, y'all, that was the overall review for the September 2020's Clash of Champions MLC. October 2020 Zombie Apocalypse MLC will be starting shortly. And depending on how comments go and everything, we'll see what happens when it comes to the conclusion of this MLC when it comes to a overall review video. But stay blessed. Hope you all had an amazing weekend. Stay tuned. Until next time. Peace.